Hello there people, this is Christian. Welcome back to my computer and Fusion F60 and this phone case. The file is not mine, I should say it immediately. This is somebody else's made the files, I don't know the origin of it. This is from a Reddit question, and the person in question wants to move these two buttons downwards, and this case is found somewhere online. Nicely enough, the person uploading both upload the mesh file and the Fusion 360 file with all the steps within it. That's very nice. The second thing that's nice is that it's a good file. There are no warnings, yellow or red warnings, or no problems. Most sketches are fully defined. The ones that are not fully defined contain splines, so they're totally logical. I will look through the file to see if this is possible. Looking at the timeline, we can see like a logic steps. There are sketch feature, sketch feature, sketch and so on. So this file should be quite easy to edit. The only problem, like most of us, I'm self-lazy with sometimes, nothing is named. If you name your sketches, you can change the name of sketches. It can sometimes be easier to go back and find specific points. Specifically, if you have something in your design, you know, oh, I might want to change that. Name the sketch, and it's much easier to find the sketch in the browser and in the timeline. Anyway, let's reverse engineer a bit. So we want to move these two buttons here. We want to move them downwards or down. I'm thinking this side is up of a phone case and this is down, or front and back, like Fusion calls it. Let's have a look. So we start by highlighting a face of this key here. We can see we get the combine tool down here, combine feature highlighter. We can highlight, okay, something is combining the two keys to the case. So let's move the timeline back to the combine. Other things removed, good. Let's move it before the combine, and we have two bodies here. We'll suddenly get three bodies. So these two buttons are created like single bodies or separate bodies from the case to start with. If the buttons doesn't show up, they might not be cached within the memory. Fusion sometimes do a compute all or control B to recalculate everything, and the bodies should show up on screen. Sometimes Fusion has a problem with not caching all the geometry. It's not really a problem, just how things work. Let's see. Okay, we have this. Look at the timeline. We have some things here. We can see we have a chamfer, we have fillers. So let's move before all of these small steps, and we have the simple square shape of things here. And of course, highlight it. Okay, that's from that extrude. So this extrude logically is from this sketch, because this is a nice file. I just want to show you the steps. If you highlight a face, let's highlight the face up here, right click, you can select edit profile sketch. That will bring you to the sketch. It might be the case of this sketch is lower down in the timeline. It can be hard to find. This is a very nice file. Things are done in a logical order. So this is the sketch driving the two buttons. So let's hide the body. And we can see the two buttons, but we have a problem. There are no dimensions sideways. Turn on the case again. We want to move the sketches in this direction, and there is nothing. What is controlling into that direction? If you zoom in, we're looking straight at it. We can see we have some purple lines here. Those are projected lines. So they are projected from some geometry or some sketch within the model. We can do it like this. To find the slight problem finding where projection off on, no, not problem. You cannot do the find in browser. What you do, you highlight the projected line, and you get this little icon showing this a projection. It looks like there are multiple lines projected. That sometimes happen, no problem. Move the mouse cursor up and click on the projection or projection icon. You can see it highlights some type of profile here. Turn on the body. So this is a profile either from a sketch and a body. I only know it's from the body. If we turn it around, we can see there are done cutouts on the inside of the case for the button. So, okay, that's logical. Gonna finish sketch. Okay, for now I don't need to see that sketch. I know the projection is still, even stays visible here. The projection is from this face here. Let's reselect only that face. Can I select? Let's hold down the mouse button and see if we can find it. No, I only want that face. I most probably have select through activated. That's why it's a bit. Can I change that? Selection prior to selection filters. Now I don't have select through on, so sometimes Fusion get a bit confused. We want to highlight only this face, and we will highlight that once again. We get 3 dots down here in the timeline. So let's move the timeline down, and we can see here now we have two features: this here and this here, and these two are the two cutouts for The buttons, how are these extrudes working? Let's have a look at this one. This is done from an offset plane. So with an offset, you can see the sketch profile over here. Offset, and distance. And the other extrude is simply done from the profile plane and with the distance. That means if we move the profile plane, or the plane for the sketch, we should be able to move the buttons. So let's simply do like this. We highlight this face, right click, and do edit profile sketch, and logical we get to sketch number 10. You can see we move slowly backwards in the timeline. Let's have a look at this. Okay, we have a sketch here floating in thin air. So we know that sketches are normally, if we don't do 3D sketching, which we should avoid, sketches are on flat faces or on planes. They are not hanging around by themselves in thin air. So let's finish sketch now. We can move the timeline back. We can highlight that sketch. And nicely enough, as I said, this person making this, I made this in a logical order. So this sketch here is on this plane here. That's plane 2. Let's highlight it. And we can see this is an offset plane, and that's nice because this is offset plane. We can change the offset. Changing the offset of a plane will move a sketch. Moving the sketch, we move extrude, moving extrude, we move the buttons. It's like a chain of thought. So let's see here now. That's an offset plane. So let's double click on that one. We can see where it's taken is this plane here. That's a plane at an angle. We don't care about that one. And then it's done with an offset. And the desire from the user here was to move it 8.50 millimeters. We can do a calculation, but I prefer simply do plus 8.15, which means I can go back and change this number without distorting or changing the original value and forgetting how much did I move it. So if I need to move it 8.25, I can simply change that. Let's do it to 8.15, hit OK, and let's move the timeline to the end and see if everything updates. Yes, the buttons are lower down. I can do an undo. If I do an undo here, let's do it like this. Let's go back. Now it's back to, remember this plane 2 we're going to move around. So let's move to the end. We're going to hide the plane here. We're going to hide the sketch, just the visibility. Now I'm back to original model. Here we talked about plane 2, and that's the one here. So you can see now the buttons are approximately in the middle of cutout for the camera here. Let's edit plane 2. Let's make it plus 25 for the fun of it. We'll move it away so we can see, enter, and wait for fusion. Yes, and the buttons are moving. No errors in the timeline. That's a good model. So this is a very nice example of a good parametric model where you can change one number and things follow along. It can still be crashes if you move things too far away, but this is how you can decipher a good Fusion file, and this is a good example of what you should try to achieve in your files. Plus, I recommend doing some naming. It makes things much easier. So, with that said, hope this can be useful for you. Take care, see you around, and goodbye.